hired an assistant, you know? How do you finally get over it?
Time and reassuring behavior. Remind me so much of Marcus crazy.
One thing here, it wasn't like Ralph said, hey, let me go and grab this assistant with a big butt.
He's an asshole. The way he speaks to her. And it reminds me of times when Mark would speak to me like that.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sam P, and today we're going to do a clip reaction of the latest episode of Real Housewives in Atlanta. Dinner in New York. So as you know, the entire group is in New York for Kandi's new play. And as they're there after visiting Todd's new apartment, which I think is a great idea for him to keep so that they have something to leave their children. After they're done doing that, they're now at the restaurant. So all the couples are talking, and it came to the reason why some of the ladies are not wearing their wedding ring. Kandi explained that she just doesn't wear it a lot, and then Drew started explaining that it first started because she lost the weight, and then problems arise with her husband. From there, they started talking again about the situationship with the assistant that Ralph had, and he's explaining that he does not employ her anymore. And while he was talking, Kenya started interfering. Basically, Kenya is having flashback because she said that Ralph reminds her of Mark. And we see, previous clips of Mark being a complete mean person to Kenya. And I understand why Kenya feels that way. I think that Kenya is probably having PTSD of Mark Daly's behavior, and seeing Ralph talking to Drew reminds her of that. And she tried to reason with him. She's trying to tell him that it's going to take time for Drew to trust him again. He's going to have to work hard, and he's going to have to reassure her often. Ralph just really wants Drew to move on, but it's just not that easy for her. On the other side, where Marlo said something that I thought was really important, which is, Drew, it's a little bit of your fault because you allow it to Ralph. You have to teach someone how to love you. I agree with Marlo to a certain extent. I do feel that when someone treats you bad, you have to let them know that it's not possible. And sometimes you have to do it with action. When you realize that speaking is not enough, you have to take matters onto your own hands and actually act on it. And Drew come up to me as the type of person that even though she has difficulty to let it go, she kind of still wants to talk to her husband, be able to communicate. Girl, if you have to give him silent treatment for 2 weeks, do it. I agree with Marlo, because you have to learn your husband. You have to learn what are your husband's weaknesses. And once you know what they are, you have to use them to your advantage whenever it doesn't treat you right. If your husband doesn't like you to not talk to him, don't talk to him. If the only way for him to change his behavior is for him to show you, for you to show him that what he did is wrong, you have to get it done. And I feel like that's something that Drew still probably doesn't understand. But that does not excuses Ralph's behavior. And they get about the way that Drew has difficulty letting go, and they bring up the situation with Sheree. I feel like Drew is just looking for someone to fight with, and for some reason she believes that Sheree is the easiest person that she can start a fight with. That's really my opinion, because I felt that Sheree didn't do anything to her. And then they talk about assistant that started the rumor about her husband being gay, because Drew is saying that the reason why she's so mad at Sheree is because of the lady who I think might be Sheree's friend brought up the fact that that same assistant that was Sheree's assistant also brought up the fact that that Ralph is gay. So then Sheree bring up a phone with evidence of text messages that assistant sent. And Drew said that she didn't fire him because that was not enough evidence. And a part of me is like, Drew, you're going to have to be careful. You're going to have to be very, very careful. A part of me knows if her assistant is capable of doing certain things, but maybe she'd rather keep him close to her. I don't know what her motive is, but she's giving me a little bit of naive. Let me know in the comment what you think of that. And then Kenya, I felt that even though I did like the fact that she defended Drew, I felt like sometimes you don't really want outside opinion like that in your couple. Like there were several people at the same time trying to talk to them, and honestly, I felt like it was overwhelming, and I think that that's what was going on with Ralph. At some point, he was like laughing when Kenya was talking, and she's like, "Why are you laughing?" And a part of me is like, "Girl, read the room." He's probably laughing because he's not feeling good, and he's deflecting with laugh, but he's not feeling good. And that's also the reason why he said that he would like to hear someone else's opinion, because he basically was done with you talking, which, you know, it was not an easy conversation to have, and he doesn't know you like that, and you're giving your opinion. So I feel like Kenya, even though I think she meant well in that instance, you don't want to go too hard, because at the end of the day, the goal of talking to someone like Ralph is to get some type of understanding. You don't want her to be mad at you, and you don't want him to feel, you know, ganged up on, because if he feels that way, is not going to change. And the goal of having those difficult conversations is for him to get some understanding and eventually works on behaving better toward his wife. Scene, honestly, I would not want to have a group of people talking to me about my marriage. I feel like Drew has invited too many people. Drew and Ralph invited too many people in a marriage. I wouldn't have felt comfortable with that. Another question, guys, do y'all think that Ralph might be gay? Do y'all think that, well, in his case, he may not be gay but bisexual? Do y'all think that it is possible? Let me all know what you think. I don't know Ralph enough. As I said before, I did not watch the previous season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, but from what I'm seeing on TV, he's not giving me a gay vibe, but a bisexual vibe, but we never know, right? So let me all know in the comment if you think that Ralph might be bisexual. On this note, guys, that's it for me for today. If you're new here, hey, and if you've been here with me, thank you for all your support, for leaving comments, for liking my videos. I'm so thankful. And to all of my new subscribers, welcome. I invite you to. If not, I will see you all soon. Bye.